Welcome to Hanging Out with Robert, that's me. This video contains things that I encounter throughout the day. If for some reason I complete a task and you would like to see the details, you could click on the link in the description area below. This video also contains tips and tricks that I learned throughout the years. I plan on leaving this video accessible for about 30 days. After that, you can view it through my Patreon account. Thank you very much for watching. Kicked off the day, posted my video. Went for a little walk and got some, I thought, snowdrops on me, but maybe it's hail. The roof liner place didn't call me, so I called them and they said my material's in, so I'm gonna go down there and get that. Not sure where I'm going to install it at. It's in the upper 50s here and hailing, so I'm not sure. Maybe this is turning into rain. Hope I get that roof liner material on and get that liner installed today. Wow, Al's Upholstery Shop. I came here yesterday, ordered this high dollar headliner material. Then I came to pick it up. These folks are long gone. They told me they were going to call me when they got it in the morning. Never got a call. I called at 11:20. They said it was here. They'd be here till 1. I could come pick it up. Now, granted, it's already paid for. I get here 12:35, 25 minutes before they told me they were going to close like 4 times at 1. Long gone, locked up, tighter than a prison. This is why I got to get out of Albuquerque. Right now, my sunroof is not opening. When I do my sunroof raise switch, it does raise, but when I try to lower it and get it back, it gets stuck. So I got to try to get this straightened out. It raises up in the back, but it's not even, and it's coming down. So let me drop the motor, see if I can see anything. These are out of adjustment because it slipped one day, and that's why it's not even. So I got to try to get this even. Probably going to have to take the sunroof out. I had to take this cable here and bump it that way to get the roof level in the back. When I bumped this cable toward the driver's side, it raised the back of the passenger side of the roof. Now I got to get the motor locked back in those cables so that I can try to figure out why it's jammed up. If not, I'll remove the sunroof and deal with the tracks one by one. Usually if I bang on top of the sunroof, I can get it to pop free. Now both sides of the sunroof is opening about the same height. So when I try to open it, it should open. If not, I might have to bump on it because one of the track guides is probably broken. It broke off in here or something. Have to get it to drop down and slide back. The passenger side seemed to drop down fine. The driver's side didn't drop down. So I'm going to bang on this side, try to get it to drop down, see if it'll slide back. It went down a little bit. Let's see. If you look, this side is not down as far as that side is. So I can't even get my fingertip in this side, even though I beat it a few times. But this side over here, I can get my fingertip in it. So that side is not going down far enough. The front edge of this sunroof is actually raised up a little bit. So I'm going to raise the sunroof up and take it out and see if I can see something laying down on the track. If you look at that track there, this back side of this track is slid all the way up out of this area. And that rivet is about an inch from there. On this side, it's not even close. This rivet should be all the way up here, but this back side is not sliding forward. I'm not sure why. So I'm going to try to get this back in, slid forward to match this, even in this raised position. I put the screwdriver on the back side of it and pushed it up there. Now it's matching the other side. So now I'm going to put a screw in here and try to get this to ride back the way it's supposed to, and see what happens when it's on its ride back. I'm going to watch both sides with the sunroof removed. I'm going to sit on my armrest or something. Found this piece broken laying down in the track. So this back side of this mechanism is not connected to this track the way it used to be. So something broke somewhere along in there, and there's still another piece or two laying down in there. I gotta get that out. I doubt this will work. Probably have to get a piece of this sunroof that will fix this wherever that's broken from, or replace the whole sunroof. It's all the pieces I can find. Well, it looks like this is not going to work. It gets jammed up almost every time. So tomorrow's half price day at the junkyard. I'm going to go get a sunroof assembly. Drop the motor and test it frontwards and backwards. That's the tester right there. I don't know what this is, but I can run the motor both directions from here. I'm going to get a sunroof assembly tomorrow. And whatever else I could get at half price. I got one of these in Cincinnati, but I'm not in Cincinnati. I'm going to drop this sunroof back in here and see if I can put this headliner material on. It's getting windy. May have to wait till tomorrow morning to do that. I'm about to put the headliner material on this headboard. As you can see, there's fiberglass in there. But I used the brushed all the old foam off of it. You can't leave none of that old foam on, or your headliner won't stick. So you gotta be careful to get it all out of these areas too. You gotta use headliner adhesive. 3M's the best that I know of that you could buy. Most places only carry one of these, so you may want to call around. If you got a wagon, you're definitely going to need two. If you got a sedan, you're going to need probably 1.5. You got to shake this stuff up real good. If you don't shake it up real good, your headliners are going to fall. And you need lots of razor blades. I would say at least 25. There's something about this foam material that dulls razor blades pretty quick. Now, I believe this headboard is 96 inches. I always ask for 3 yards because 96 inches is 2.7 something yards. Nobody wants to sell you 2.75 yards, so they want to sell you 3 yards. I ordered some of this stuff on Amazon in this dark gray, because this dark gray will show less of the mishaps I have with my ceiling liner and dirty stuff. And I thought dark gray would look nicer than the tan that I have. And I opened the package up. 4 months later, they sent me tan. Could I put tan in there? Sure. But I wanted dark gray. Now, all of the hand grips in the 850s is tan. There are some V70s and S70s that has grayish blue sun visors and hand grips. I think that will go well with this gray that I have. Some people like to go black, but looking at this in the light and looking at it in the roof of your car is two different things. It's going to probably look this dark in the roof of the car because the roof of the car doesn't get any direct sunlight on it. it gets shadow. And as you can see, this gray has a blue hue to it. Now, this is called charcoal gray on the swatch that they had at the material place where they sell headliner material. They have some dark gray and light gray. The dark gray is grayer to the black and not grayer to the blue. This charcoal is grayer to the blue, and I think it'll go better with the sun visor and stuff like that from the 70 series cars. Again, this material has the foam backing already on it. Now, some people want to put Alcantara in their R headliner. I don't know if you could get Alcantara headliner material. One place told me they could. Until I see it, I don't believe it. Because this warehouse place I went to, they said they didn't think they can get Alcantara, but there's two other materials that are similar to Alcantara that they did sell. Let me see if I got that in my pocket here. Now, there's two suede type materials, fake suede. Of course, suede is the fuzzy side of leather, and Alcantara is tougher than suede. It's a synthetic product. This here stuff, it leaves finger tracks. I see a lot of sofas made out of it. You can see everywhere I touch, it changes. I call those tracks, kind of like when you vacuum carpet. This stuff is called street suede. It's a synthetic product. It's pretty tough. I tried to tear it here. It didn't tear, but it did stretch, leave stretch marks. Will you be trying to tear and stretch your headliner material? No. This would be some nice stuff to put in there. Now, this standard headliner material is $20 a yard. This street suede, which has a nice feel to it, doesn't feel like Alcantara, but it's got a nice soft feel to it. Pretty stuff. Get that in a lot of different colors. That's $25 a yard. Then they have this stuff here, which I tried to tear like I did that, barely stretched. They claim that instead of Alcantara, they sell people this stuff. It feels almost just like Alcantara, just a little bit softer. Great feel to it. I'm actually going to put this in Queen Bee when I do Queen Bee's headliner. This stuff is $35 a yard, and it is either called Syntec or Synergy, a imitation synthetic suede. It doesn't track like this other stuff does, and it's tougher. As you can see, it didn't stretch as much as that. So if you can't get Alcantara, get this stuff here. Now, this stuff is $35 a yard. Now, I've seen some guys on the internet, an upholstery shop, they were actually headlining a vehicle with Alcantara. The Alcantara they had did not have the foam backing, which is what you need to glue it on the headliner headboard. You need foam. Regular material just doesn't glue to that stuff. Then the foam gives it a soundproof type of backing, which helps the car be quieter, which is a plus. And what these guys did, they actually got some foam and glued the foam to the Alcantara, and then glued that combination to the headliner board. Two-step process. Now, they were using industrial glue to do it. The foam that they had wasn't gray, it was pink. You could probably find that video. And that foam is normally, in your headliner material, normally 3/16 inch thick. So if you want to make your own headliner material, because the headliner material that is sold isn't what you quite want, you want something custom, I advise you to get 1/8 inch foam or 3/16 inch foam. preferably the 3/16 inch foam. Use the headliner adhesive glue spray contact glue. Glue your material on that foam and then glue that on your headliner board. That's the only way I know. Now, to my knowledge, some places sell Alcantara $150 a yard, a square yard, and it's not even a square yard because they don't even want it square. Now, normal headliner material is like 60 inches wide. Some of this stuff I see 54 inches wide. So I'm going to take a tape, measure the board. It's got a dip in it, so it's got to have an inch or two overplay. So you got to be careful if you're going to make your own headliner board. Make sure your material is wide enough and your foam is wide enough to cover your headliner board, however wide your headliner board is. So let me go ahead and grab my tape so we can measure these. Near the front here, my headliner board is 47-48 inches. I'm trying to get it across at the widest point. 48 inches. So that's 4 feet. In the middle, my headliner board is 46 inches, and it gets even more narrow all the way down the end here. My headliner material is 43. So the widest point is the front, 48 inches. The material that I just purchased, I believe is 60 inches. Let me stretch this tape out. The material that I have is 60 inches, so the standard headliner material, 60 inches wide. So whatever you get, just measure your board, allow for some overlay. Now, I don't tuck and roll my headliner material. I cut it right at the edge, but some people try to tuck and roll it. The trim in the car covers the edge, so you shouldn't see anything there. And the front edge of this touches the windshield, so you shouldn't have an issue there. But do make sure you have enough material to cover your board. Let me measure the length of my material. My headboard from front to back is 85 inches. So 2.5 yards would cover it. 2.5 yards would come out to 90 inches, and 85 or 86 would do it. So 90 inches would be long enough. Then of course you want to have enough to do your sunroof shade, which is another 1.5 feet there. So that may make it worth getting. Yeah, that's 1.5 feet there, and that does have some overlay. That may be worth getting 3 yards. 3 yards long, wider, 1.5 yards wide. So you're almost getting 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 4.5, 5 square yards. At any rate, I'm gonna get to applying this. As you can see, this stuff does have the foam backing on it, both of these materials. And again, you only want to use contact adhesive that is headliner adhesive. It could take the heat of the inside of the car, and it is made for this stuff, so you don't want to try to skim on that. I've shown up people had all kind of stuff, Gorilla Glue, all kind of different stuff. You don't want that. So let me shake this up so I can get ready to apply and spray it. Now usually I have 2 people helping me apply this stuff. I have people holding on the ends. I spray the board, I spray the liner backing, and then I lay it down, press it down in the middle, work my way out while they hold the ends. Very hard to do. They normally get distracted in watching me press the material down, and then they let it touch the edge or something, and I don't have enough material to push it in here. And once it touches, it's contact. It's stuck. So you definitely want to make sure you brief anybody that helps you. Now, The last time I did it by myself. I watched a guy on YouTube that does these all the time. He did it by himself, and I was able to do it by myself. So I lay the material out, I flip it back, I spray a section, I spray the backing, and then I flip it over. That worked out great. So that's what I'm going to do here to start this portion of this. Now, you got to be careful on the ends that you don't overspray on your material, because that glue on your material looks bad. So you want to cover, when you have that folded back, make sure you don't spray none on your backing. Work your way up and make sure you don't get any on your backing. So I'm going to be careful of that. Let me get started. And when you get these cans shaken up well, they have a nice fan pattern that they fan out. And I see this one's got an L, an H, and an M. Not sure what that's about. But make sure you get a good fan pattern, at least this wide, that sprays out. You don't want a narrow spray pattern. If it starts that, stop, get another can, take the other one back. You want to make sure that this stuff is spraying a good wide pattern, or you're not going to get the coverage on your material or your backing. So let me roll this stuff out, shake my can up, and get started. I have my material laid out. I got about an inch overlay here. I might back that up so it's just a half-inch overlay. But no, I'm going to keep that the way it is. I think I got enough material running off the back to do my sunroof shade real easy. So that way I don't have to spray totally to the end. May make that a little easier. So now I'm going to fold this back like this and spray a section of that headliner material and my backing. And then I'm going to lay this part out, and then I'm going to work on the next section, the middle section. So let me shake this up, spray it so you can see it, and go from there. Now I'm under this carport area because I'm protecting myself from the wind. Don't want any wind blowing. I got this cardboard up here to prevent me from overspraying on the material back there. I'm trying to reduce how much overspray I get on my boxes. I'm going to use those for packing and shipping and stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and spray this out. Now when you pull these boards, a lot of times they're so big, you'll get a buckle in them, they'll fold on you. But I've never had problems with headliner material showing these buckles and cracks and stuff like that in your board. So don't worry about that too much. I'm going to go ahead and spray this out here so you can see how wide it is. Then I'm going to go ahead and do it. Got a little bit of a breeze came through here a second. I'm going to let that die down. Here we go. See how wide that is? So you want it to be wide like that. Uniform strokes, even application, all the way on both surfaces before you apply it. I have coverage on the foam, coverage on the board. Now I want to let this sit until it's tacky to my finger touch. Almost picks up the board, picking up the foam. Now I'm going to roll this out here and be careful to tuck this properly in here and work this on this side. I don't have any glue on that side because these crevices are so deep. I want to make sure I do one side at a time. It was real hard getting in these deep pockets on both sides. I don't know if I got enough glue right in here on this, because when I took this first side down, it was hard for me to spray for the second side. So I think I got it. We'll find out. But I did get good glue up around this end. So let me fold this side back, do another section, and then do the rest of it. Just had a disaster happen. I pulled the cap off of this one in the sprayer came off the can. If that happens, just stop where you at. Go get that can replaced, because this is not going to work out. You see all the leakage out of that spray nozzle? I got a bunch of wet spots all over my liner material here. That is just horrible. I got this sprayed with the other can, but I tried to spray the backing with that new can, and man, that was a disaster. Look at that, all those spots. I don't know if this is going to go down right or not. I doubt it, but I'm gonna give it a try. I gotta try. I'm stuck where I'm at, so let me try to roll this out there and let you know what happens. The material's down. You can see a few waves. I don't know if it had anything to do with this glue or not, of where I went across, working my way up in little jabs, instead of having help holding out the edges while I just made quick sweeping motions. The front looks better than the back, but this foam may settle out. You may not be able to see those waves later on. We'll see. But I'm going to go ahead and take my razor blades and trim off the edges and see if I have enough left to do the sunroof shade, which it looks like I will, and cut out all my hand grip areas, cut out my sunroof area, and get this thing prepared to go in. I'm probably not going to be able to put it in today because my sunroof's broke, and I'm going to replace my sunroof tomorrow. If I'd have had my sunroof with me today, I'd have replaced it today, but I didn't, so that's where I'm at. Let me go ahead and trim this out so you can see it trimmed out. I have one razor blade. It's almost too dull to cut anything else right now. I cut out this hole, that little hole, that hole, and those two holes. And this razor blade is pretty much dull. Now, somebody suggested that it may be the glue getting on the razor blade, making it dull. But I've even tried to have acetone clean off the edges of the blade, and it was still dull. So I just think it's something about cutting this foam that makes these razor blades dull real quick. And these are decent razor blades. They're not cheap. Started on this corner with a fresh razor blade. I actually made it 4.5 feet. So I'm kind of surprised. One razor blade went 4.5 feet down the edge. Now it's too dull to cut. So I'm going to start with another fresh one and go another 4.5 feet around. Got the holes down around the passenger side and all the way around the edge. And 5 razor blades in it, looks like. So let me keep on trimming. I roughed up a couple of edges, but I ended up using 10 razor blades. Probably should have used another 3 or 4. Here's the finished product. Up on the front half, it looks really good. I have a little bit of a crease right here. That may smooth out, but it's going to be behind a hand grip handle. Probably won't even see it. Got a little bit of bunching back here. A little bit of layered glue down back here, which is not where anybody normally sits. A little bunching there near the hand grip, and trimmed a little bit too much by that air temp, but the cover will probably cover that. And I don't know why that creased right there when I laid that down, but I think it's a 4 out of 5 job, and we'll see later on if this layering where I was smoothing it out as I was rolling it out, see if that'll smooth out. So if you got help, use help. If not, this is a way to do it by yourself. If you feel that this information was useful, please like it and share it with your social media friends. You can subscribe to my channel so that you will get notifications of future videos that I post. You can follow me on Twitter, and if you need to contact me directly, please visit my website. And if you have any questions, leave them below, and someone or myself will reply to them. Again, thank you very much for watching.